Manga-Waido.
It's almost Father's Day, so let's draw pictures of our dads as a present.
No! Dad has pictures of his body like this.
Oh, calm down, everyone.
I realized from a young age that my father was different from the other fathers. He always stood out when he came to school to see me for performances and stuff. It's because he was a yakuza. He was large and wore his hair slicked back. I didn't quite get what being a yakuza meant at the time, but I could tell that he was different. It felt a little lonely since my family was different from the other kids' families, but… Let's play together, Karaka-kun. Okay. I had one friend named Aisuke, and thanks to him I was able to enjoy those early years. But one day, it was suddenly decided that we were gonna move during the summer of my 3rd grade. Why are we moving?
It couldn't be helped. Sorry we didn't tell you anything beforehand.
What about Dad? Dad's stuff isn't here.
I want you to stay calm, Kakaru. Mom and Dad got divorced.
Mom kept talking after that, but I was so shocked I couldn't pay attention. My life changed regardless of what I wanted. Our quality of life was markedly lower than before as well. I couldn't get along with the other kids at my new school either, and because of that, I started growing more and more depressed. Mom noticed this and suggested something to me.
Take this, Kakaru.
A notebook?
Yep. Why don't you start writing a diary? You should keep track of the little things that make you happy from day to day.
What's gonna happen if I do?
You can read them over again when you're feeling down. Think of it like a piggy bank for happiness. Just try it out first.
A piggy bank for happiness, huh? I was doubtful at first, but I did what Mom said. We were poor, but we had each other. Getting by wasn't so hard if we cooperated. Thanks to my kind mother, I didn't dislike my new life. But that ended too after a few years. My mom was going to the supermarket when she got into a traffic accident. I don't have much memory of this period in my life. Long time no see, Kakaru. Dad? Dad reappeared at Mom's funeral. I haven't seen him since he and Mom got divorced, but since he looked basically the same, I recognized him immediately. I had no other place to go, which is why it was decided that I would live with him from now. About my job, I put that all behind me now, son. I run a restaurant now. Sorry for the pain I might have caused you until now. You should apologize to Mom, not me. You're right. We exchanged a few words in the car and I arrived at our destination. The place we arrived at was the house the 3 of us used to live in. Apparently, Dad lived here on his own after the divorce. We're gonna be living here again. Now it's just the 2 of us, though. My new life with my father started, but the 2 of us barely talked to each other. My father was always a quiet man, and I was in the middle of puberty. There were so many things I wanted to ask him, but since I was too awkward, I couldn't find the words. A few days after we moved, the paperwork for me changing schools had been done, and today was my first day. Another new school. Is that you, Aisuke? Kakaru! Long time no see! I just returned to this town a few days ago. Even old friends change if you don't see them for several years. Aisuke had a flashy appearance and started hanging out with kids that looked like delinquents. It's not just Aisuke. Since I used to live here, I knew a few people at my new school, but everyone seemed different. Looks like I have to start with 0 friends again. Aisuke's not in the same class either.
Long time no see, Kakaru-kun. Do you remember me?
Saki-san?
You remembered! I'm so glad!
The only person who was nice to me was a girl that used to be in the same class as me in elementary school. She was pretty back then, but she was even prettier now.
Your last name changed, and you act different now as well. I didn't recognize you at first.
Well, a lot happened.
I see. Life is complicated after all, but I'm glad we could meet again.
It's reassuring to see that you don't seem to have changed much though, Saki.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Yogasaki-san, come here for a bit. Okay. Why don't we go home together after school, Kakaru-kun? There's so much I want to talk to you about.
What? Okay.
Yes! See you later then!
Jogasaki was always a bright person and was sort of everyone's idol. It looks like that hasn't changed. After that, I started spending a lot of time with Jogasaki at school, But that happiness of finding a friend that didn't seem to have changed much didn't last a while. I had a new problem to face. My pencil is gone again. My things suddenly started to disappear. At first, I thought I was just losing my stuff, but that wasn't the case. I realized what was happening when I found my shoes in the garbage box. Who did this? Who would do such a thing? Did I do something to be hated like this? I couldn't figure out who it was no matter how hard I thought. I couldn't ask someone for advice either since I was too embarrassed to tell someone about what was happening to me. One day, while I was depressed and unable to do anything, something decisive happened. I came to school and found a group of people gathered around the blackboard. What is this? Kakuru's father's a yakuza? I got expelled from my previous school for violence? The words written on the blackboard were about me. No, who did this? My dad had already left the yakuza, and the part about me being expelled for violence was completely made up. But no one here could prove that for me. I was erasing the words on the blackboard desperately when… Oh, how pathetic! Hey, why'd you erase it? I put so much effort into that! How would you do such a thing? It's a lie! It's not a lie, right, Aisuke? Aisuke? Why? Aisuke was the one who told us that your father was a yakuza. Apparently you were famous for it back in elementary school. Hey everyone! Hanging out with someone like him is dangerous, so don't, okay? But my father already left the yakuza. Yeah, sure. There's no point when I lie your way out of this. I saw your father in the streets one day. This is your father, isn't it? The person in the picture is undeniably my father. Look, everyone! There's no way he isn't a yakuza when he looks like this, right? You're on the same level as him since you're his son. The scum of society! I was too nervous to say anything to all the people staring at me, but then the teacher came in and everyone got to their seats. Excuse me, I don't feel well, so I'm gonna go home. Pikuda! Without thinking, I burst out of the classroom. My dad wasn't there when I got home. He's probably at work. I went to grab a drink from the refrigerator when I found some white powder on the table. Is this? I'd never seen the real thing, but I saw it in movies and TV shows before. This is probably… So Dad didn't leave the yakuza after all. I'm an idiot for believing my father. I went back to my room disappointed. I tried writing in my diary to organize my thoughts, but it didn't help. I heard that you left school early today, Kakeru. Are you alright? It's none of your business! Of course it is, I'm your father after all. My father? That's all your fault! Because you're a yakuza, people are avoiding me at school. Don't act like my father now after not coming to visit us even once after getting divorced. I shouted all the grievances I had against him until now, threw the diary that was across my room and shut the door. I started crying from anger and pity for myself and refused to come out. I didn't feel like going to school the next day either. I avoided my father, not saying a word to him at all. That went on for a few days, but one morning my father suddenly entered my room and… You're not going to school again today? That's none of your business. Don't worry, your friend's responsible for this, right? You're not going to be seeing him anymore. Huh? What did you do to him? I got a bad feeling and burst out of my house. Even after all that happened, Aisuke was still my friend back when we were kids. I was bitter against him for what he did, but I couldn't truly hate him. I wonder what my father did to him without even telling me about it first. He's a yakuza, he could have done anything. He might have killed him even. I hurried to school, thinking that the worst case scenario had happened. I hadn't been to school in a few days, but I was too worried about Aisuke's safety to care. Aisuke! I looked for him in his class, but he wasn't there. I asked his classmates where he was, but they didn't know either. What could it be that Aisuke's really… Who are you? A man wearing a suit came and talked to me. Long time no see! You probably don't remember me though. I'm Aisuke's father. Aisuke's… There were other adults behind him as well. Apparently they were the parents of Aisuke's two friends, Moriyama and Sugishida. We came to your house earlier for a visit, but then your father told us that you had gone to school. Dad? What's the meaning of this? Security says, Father, please use our conference room. He went to the conference room where the three parents gave me an apology for what their kids did, and my father explained to me what happened. Long story short, this is what happened. The day I left early, my dad read my diary and contacted my school. But then the school said that it wouldn't take time to verify the truth of his claims, so he took the case directly to the education committee. They put pressure on my school, and things started moving quickly, and verified that my father's claims were true not long after. Aisuke wasn't happy about me for some reason, and so he told his two friends about my father. They found it amusing and decided to use it to turn the class against me. Apparently, they were crying during the confession. I was surprised my father had taken such an honest approach to solve the matter. Why was Aisuke unhappy with me? Does he mean Jogasaki? The reason is irrelevant. What they did was a crime. That's when I said I would take legal actions. This person told me, I'll make my son change schools, so anything but that. Right? I only heard about this afterwards, but apparently Aisuke's father is now part of the city council. He didn't want this incident to affect his next election, which is why he wanted to settle things privately. Please, let me talk to Aisuke. I went to meet Aisuke so I could talk to him in person. He was standing near the school gates with a dark expression on his face. Kakeru! I heard from your dad about what happened. I'm not satisfied with his explanation, though. You weren't the kind of person to do something like this just because I wasn't getting along with a girl you liked. It's not just that. You moved without telling me anything to me back in 3rd grade, didn't you? I thought that you had abandoned me. I had no other friends at the time. And do you know what I had to go through? So that's why you told Moriyama and the other guy lies about me? I only told them the truth. It looks like trying to reason with Aisuke was pointless now. Having to suddenly move them was like a dream. We were basically fleeing this town. That's why I couldn't tell you about it beforehand. I was lonely too, you know? Oh, I'm sorry. If only we had talked to each other properly sooner. I was looking forward to being able to spend time with you again, but it's a shame it seems. I just said that and left the scene. It looks like I really did lose a friend. I said goodbye to Aisuke and entered the school building again, where my father was waiting for me at the entrance. Did you say what you wanted to say? Yeah. Let's go home then. I have to return to the shop. What kind of shop do you run? I didn't tell you yet. I run an udon shop. He really left the yakuza? Wait, what was that white powder? Flour? Me and my father made up after this incident. I got divorced with your mother so as to not involve you guys in the process of me leaving the yakuza. It took some time though, since the clan battle was going on. Me and your mother were gonna get back together once I'd taken care of everything. I was never able to achieve that promise though. Dad showed me the conversations he and Mom had by text and told me about everything that happened until then. Aisuke and his two friends changed schools just as promised. Moriyama and Sugishita went to the middle school in the neighboring town, but rumors soon spread about what they had done in their previous school and no one would talk to them. It looks like they're the ones being avoided now. Aisuke went to a private school, but a few months after that, Aisuke's father got involved in a scandal and had to resign his position. And now live in poverty, it seems. I hope he turns a new leaf someday. What's the matter? You look like there's something on your mind. Oh, sorry. Wait, was your house this direction again? Nope, it's in the other direction. Can you tell why? Oh, I know. You're hungry, right? There are many places to eat in that direction, after all. I know. Why don't we go to my dad's place? He runs a udon shop. What? You're so clueless. A lot happened until now, but I was happy. I was proud of myself for being able to move on so quickly. I must have taken after my father and inherited his boldness and tolerance. I need to thank him for everything someday. I thought to myself while eating some delicious udon.